Now let's look at another reason, often given by churchgoers, men who hold priesthood, as to why women don't have priesthood. And that is the argument that deals with original sin. Because if you look at the New Testament, it says that Adam didn't transgress, but the woman transgressed, being deceived. You know, it never ceases to amaze me how women get all the blame. And you don't run the world. Men do. This is a man's world. When it comes time to give an accounting, who gets the blame? Why, Mother Eve. Personally, I think she was framed. Never happened. There was no such thing as an original sin. But the theology created by men, for men, simply states that the taint of original sin passes from the mother to the child through pregnancy. And that is why they created the doctrine of the virgin birth. It's the only reason they created that doctrine. It not only demeans women, but it also demeans the very act by which children are born, children are created. These are God-given acts. They're holy, they're sacred. There's not a single thing wrong with a husband and a wife making a baby. And when that baby is being formed in the woman's womb, there's no taint of sin being passed to that little infant. There's no sin in being a human. There's certainly no sin in being a woman. Regardless of what men say, I know that in the churches, women do not have priesthood. There's a church near this area that has what they call the Melchizedek priesthood. And I doubt that you'll ever see a woman in that particular church ever have such a priesthood. But you don't need it. It's like I said earlier in an earlier discourse. Every priesthood made by man has no more value than a sack full of rocks. Women, you were born with priesthood. It comes from your heavenly mother. I'm going to read to you what your heavenly mother says about the priesthood with which you were born. Let me read. I'm going to read from the seventh endowment, and this is your heavenly mother speaking. This is the seventh endowment, chapter 7, verses 2 through 11. For now the power is in your hand to make your life most sacred, to stand yourself as one endowed, as one who walks with God, empowered within by the glory beyond, to reflect that holy light, to shine most bright within the darkness, and fill the world with joy. Rise up now and seize the prize which I would happy give you. Let go your fears, set free your doubts, and open wide your heart. For here within the great eternal do many gods await, ever hopeful with outstretched arms to receive you once again. Consider then that sacred power which lies most deep within you, a power which is born of God, a power wrapped in priesthood. For this priesthood was given you at the moment of your birth, waiting quietly deep within, eager that you should use it. What then is this priesthood which waits to be revealed? What is the power within your soul that would make you one with God? How must you live? How must you speak? How must you rightly act to awaken within you the light of God and fill the world with hope? For the priesthood of God can no man give, neither is it appointed that any church should guard it or bind it with restrictions. For the priesthood which comes from God is found in you already and lies most deep within, a hidden treasure within the soul, which waits upon your faith. This then is the power of priesthood, that you should be enabled to create some sacred moment for the sake of those you love, which sacred moment proves the power which draws forth the presence of God the Mother and the Father. For the power of priesthood does not command, but loves instead. Neither does it seek to judge or punish, but to heal and quick restore, proving itself not as something exclusive, but rather as that which quick includes even all who would embrace the things which come from God. Think not, therefore, that the priesthood of God is bound by law, neither can any church constrain it, to keep it in their power. For that which has its birth in God is yours by right of birth, becoming itself the tie which binds you closely unto God, having as its only mandate the creation of sacred moments. For the world needs most that sacred moment where God is deeply felt, to be themselves inspired by goodness, to be themselves uplifted, and to feel themselves as blessed, a sacred moment where God draws near to touch the heart and mind. Such then is made the priesthood which comes from God above, not come from men, nor come from churches others quick would tell you, but comes instead from deep within, where the heart and soul do meet, lying there within yourself for you to quick take hold and draw to you the heart of God through the making of sacred moments. Now that is what your Heavenly Mother has to say about this wonderful priesthood with which you're born. Listen to me for a moment. I am Azrael Ondi-Ahman, and I cannot give you priesthood. I am the man who speaks with God face to face. I know personally your Heavenly Father and Heavenly Mother. I cannot give you priesthood. It's already there for you to use. You just need to use it. And how do you use that priesthood? Well, according to your Heavenly Mother, priesthood is the creating of sacred moments. It has nothing to do with the authority to act in God's name. That's a lawyer's definition. Given by a church run by lawyers. Don't listen to that. Listen to your heart. You are an eternal being. You will live forever. When you die, you don't have to worry about where you go. You return to your Heavenly Father and Heavenly Mother. Hopefully you would have learned some things along the way in this mortal life, because it's a school. And one of the things they want you to learn is how to use priesthood, how to create sacred moments. And so you find yourself in this mortal world where everything is such a rush and a hurry. And it takes an effort to create a sacred moment. But you have that right. Every man out there, every woman out there, whenever you create a sacred moment for those you love, a moment where God is felt, you have exercised priesthood. And the authority behind that priesthood is the very sacred moment itself. It is the coming forth of God that verifies that priesthood has been enacted, and rightly so.